I don't understand what it was. And research shows, the thing is, research shows that it wasn't a case of Asian Americans just work harder. Asian Americans had a better education. Asian Americans did X, Y, and Z. It was a case of America became less racist toward Asians. You can succeed if America decides to become less racist towards you. And you know, I want to look at this article and I want to tell you something about what it said. If the stream stays up long enough for me to have this conversation, I want to sit here and tell you, I want to tell you some of what it said. It says the widespread assumption is that Asian Americans came to the United States very disadvantaged and they wound up advantaged through extraordinary investments in their children's education. But that's not really what happened. Hilger recently used census records to trace the fortunes of whites, blacks, and Asians who were born in California during the early to mid 20th century. He found that educational gains had little to do with how Asian Americans managed to close the gap with whites by the 1970s. Instead, his research suggests that society simply became less racist toward Asians. Okay? If white people like you more and they're the dominant culture, then yeah, you have an advantage. You have an advantage if white people just decide. And this is the thing, we don't understand it. Just like Asians got chose. That's not something they did. You got chose. You know, even before, you know, we're gonna talk about highly educated immigrants too.
Right. Because we have to make a distinction between the ones who came here after 1965 and the ones who came here before.
Yes, it says, at the time of 1940 census, Hilger found California-born Asian men earned less than California-born black men. By the 1970 census, they were earning about the same as white men. And by the 1980s, the native-born Asian men were out-earning white men. That never happened to us. And it never happened to us not because we were lazy or not because we didn't do the right thing. They just got chose. They just got chose. This is what it is. And there's a great, you know, if you go to NPR, you know, if you all recall, Andrew Sullivan is an avowed racist, basically. I mean, even in terms of, he talks about the myth of the great Asians or whatever, all that stuff. But there's something very interesting even about what he said. And this is an NPR article. I don't even want a chance putting up a clip right now. But it says, Sullivan is right that Asians have faced various forms of discrimination, but never the systemic dehumanization that black people have faced during slavery and continue to face today. Let me say this again. Sullivan is right that Asians have faced various forms of discrimination, but never the systemic dehumanization that black people have faced during slavery and continue to face today. Okay? That is a big deal. What we're talking about, and you have to quantify and qualify suffering. What they're basically telling us is that nobody has suffered and been dehumanized like African Americans. Certainly not Asians.
Our clips are good.
Okay, so Asians after the 1960s were the most educated. They were even most educated than white people in this country. You have to talk. You cannot talk about Asians before talking about who is allowed to come in here through immigration policy as an Asian. And I hate the term Asian. I know it's just, for a lot of Asians, you know, they're not the same. But you have to talk about that. And the Asians that come in are typically the more educated Asians. And then you want them to compete against people who've been dehumanized, hung from trees, and redlined and everything, and say, well, why aren't you doing like them? How? And then a few of y'all want to get together with conservatives and take my affirmative action when you really shouldn't get it to begin with. If you can show me that you were a victim, that you can trace your lineage back 2 or 3, 4 generations in this country, and that maybe you were some of the Japanese who are actually interned. Okay, then we can have a conversation. If you cannot show me those things.
They got paid, though.
Yeah, they got reparations. We didn't. You got reparations. I ain't got nothing. And you want to go and be in line with conservatives and tell me that I shouldn't get it? I got a solution for everything. If affirmative action was just for African Americans, we wouldn't have no fight, we wouldn't have no problem. So instead of saying what you're saying and saying that, oh well, it's supposed to be for all. No. That wasn't the initial claim. I don't think it was written right, but we need to get that right now. It ain't for you because you can't even support your claim. You cannot come over here as Barack Obama. I said it. You cannot come over here as Kamala Harris. I said it, and be able to say I should get affirmative action. You do not have the history for it.
I got a question. So if a woman gets a transgender an operation or go through the procedure, can they apply for minority contracts? A man who then becomes a woman?
I have no idea.
I have no idea, but I bet you now
I bet you now, but I don't see how.
No, I bet you now the National Organization of Women will be like, oh no, it wasn't meant for you.
Yeah, like it wasn't meant for you. Like that's a voluntary procedure. Yeah. You could have stayed the way you was. I'm not do what you like. I'm not criticizing nobody. But that's not.
This was meant for us.
How do you make yourself a part of a disenfranchised group? And women ain't even disenfranchised. White women especially ain't even disenfranchised like black people. You make yourself a white woman and then want to go get extra stuff. I don't know what's going on with them. But let me before they start sending me hate mail. I just don't know.